all of us want to get more reviews on Amazon. It helps our products to stand out and increase our conversions. And it can also be a huge competitive advantage. But the problem is that most sellers look for the latest hacks. What to write on their insert cards, how to set up their follow-up sequences, not to mention black hat tactics. It is because they are unable to see the big picture. We got thousands and thousands of reviews over the years, and this is our strategy for maximizing review rate. So let's talk about the strategy how to increase our review rate on Amazon. Basically, the objective is simple. First of all, we want to convince our customers to give us 5 stars, right? Ideally, we want only 5-star reviews. But the second point is that we actually want to convince them to spend their time and leave the review. And if we really simplify the objective, we want a higher review rate than our competition. Because our goal is to essentially win in the long run. Because the thing is that the number of reviews won't really save us if we can't get more reviews consistently. And we cannot really say what review rate is good because it is simply different in every niche. So the first step is to analyze our competition, figure out their strategy. We will buy their products and see what they are doing to incentivize their buyers to leave reviews. And we can also estimate their review rate. We will look at the number of orders. Obviously, we are looking just at the estimates. And we can also see how many reviews they are getting on daily and weekly basis. So we can really estimate their review rate. Is it 2%, 5%, 1%? We should be able to do that. And then we can create a simple model. So it can look like this. Their starting point may be around 400 reviews. While we launched a new product, we are starting at around 40 or 50 reviews. And our goal is to get higher review rate so we can eventually overtake them in the future. In this example, we would overtake them at around 600 reviews because we are getting twice as many reviews from our orders after 2 years. But this is just a very simple example. And the thing is that if we manage to increase our review rate, we can be selling fewer units than them. But if the review rate is higher, we can still grow and gather reviews faster than them and eventually overtake them. And I think it's very important to have this model in mind because it really tells you how important it is to have a proper strategy to maximize the review rate. And as I said before, the first step is to ensure that we will get 5-star reviews, not 4-star, not 3-star, that we will get 5 stars as often as possible. So really what it takes to get 5 stars. And I have to remind you that this is actually the easier step. Because as I said, we have 2 objectives. We want to convince customers to give us 5 stars, which is the easier step. And the second step is to convince them to spend their time to leave the review. So let's talk about the 5-star experience. The first step really is that the product has to do what it is supposed to do. Let's say if you are selling a waterproof bag, it needs to be waterproof. If you can't do this, you won't get 5-star reviews. It is as simple as that. We also have to ensure that the customer experience has to be optimized every single step. Nothing is frustrating or unclear, right? We talk about the packaging, we talk about the unboxing experience, right? Maybe it's super hard to get your product out of the box, and that's something that could hurt your reviews. So once again, make sure that the full customer experience is optimized all the way from packaging, unboxing, actually using the product, maintaining the product, storing the product, and so on. And the third pillar is that the customer service has to be helpful. If there is something wrong, we have to ensure that our customer service is ready to help, it is responsive, and they provide quick solutions. Whether it's sending refunds, sending replacements, they have to be quick to resolve the problem of our customer. If we address all of these pillars, we are increasing our chances that the customers will be satisfied with their experience and they would be willing to leave 5 stars. And if you are doing your research how to improve your product, how to improve your customer experience, make sure to look mainly at the 3- and 4-star reviews because they often provide better insights than 1-star reviews, right? If someone leaves 1-star review, they are usually angry, they are not really constructively looking at the product. But if someone leaves 4 stars or 3 stars, they like the product, but maybe there is one thing that they would like better. So they will tell you in the review, I'm leaving 4 stars because maybe it was too hard to get the product out of the box and I damaged the box, I damaged the product, whatever, right? So pay extra attention when doing this research, how to optimize your customer experience, to look at those 4- and 3-star reviews. Because as I said, the first step is to really ensure that we have the 5-star experience. And the second point is to convince the customers to leave the review. Because if you could ask your customers in person, most of them would probably give your product 5 stars. But the problem is that they are simply not willing to spend their time to leave the review. And we can change this, and I will show you how. But we really have to understand this first. And I believe that you will agree with me that people are generally more likely to leave a review if their experience is negative. So a simple example, this is not real data, but I'm just trying to prove my point, that basically out of 100 happy customers, let's say only 5 will leave a review. But out of 10 unhappy customers, 5 of them will leave a review. So think about your personal experience. If you were unhappy with the product, you were probably more likely to go and write about your experience. Let's say you were extremely unhappy with the product because you bought this waterproof bag and it wasn't really waterproof, so you would probably leave a review because you were mad. So it is important to understand that the people with negative experiences are more incentivized to leave the review. And let me now explain why, because it is also the key to incentivize people to leave reviews if they have a positive experience. It is all about expectations and value, what it really takes to convince the customer to actually take the time to leave a review. Because before the purchase, the customer is really looking at their expectations and the cost. And if their expectations of the product are higher than the cost, obviously this is subjective, that's the perceived value. And if it's higher, they will make the purchase, right? Because they believe that they will get more value out of the product than they are paying. But if it is the opposite, that they feel like they would be paying more than they would get out of the product, they will simply skip the product, they will buy competitors' products, and they will simply do something else. And this is really key to understand the motivation behind reviews, right? Because after the purchase, we can look at the real value the customer got and compare it with the expectations and the cost they paid. So after the purchase, if the customer had really high expectations and he believed that he will be getting more than he's paying, but he actually got less than that, he got less value than he paid and significantly less value than he expected, he will leave a negative review. That's why unhappy customers are more likely to leave a review, because they are simply so unhappy that there was this discrepancy. And this is where I can truly explain the problem why we are not getting enough reviews. Because our problem is that if the expectation is around the same as the value they got, they are not leaving a positive review, because simply nothing happens. They got exactly what they expected. And this is where most sellers are stuck, because they overpromise in their marketing, in their listing and images, really. Their packaging is rendered, their colors are adjusted, so everything looks super nice. So the customer has high expectations, they will make the purchase, they will receive the product, and there is nothing really wrong with the product. It is pretty much what they expected, and that's it. The transaction is over. So really, they may be satisfied, but there is no incentive to leave a review. The transaction is over. They got exactly what they expected and paid for. And in this situation, really, if you ask them to leave a review, you ask them to give us more. So think about it like this. Their time is valuable. And if we ask them to leave a review, we essentially ask them to spend their time to do something for us. And it is essentially the same as we ask them to send us extra $5 if they are happy with the product. Right? They had some expectations, they paid the price, they got what they expected, and now we want more from them. That, in this example, it really sounds ridiculous, right? Yet most of us really do this. And here is the solution. This is the strategy. Our customers have to feel like it is almost not fair how much they got for their money. Almost like they owe us something. And it would look like this. They have high expectations, they paid for the product, but they got way more than they expected. So there is a huge consumer surplus in the value they receive. And there is a way we can do this. We will surprise them and over-deliver. And really, in this case, once again, we will analyze the customer experience end to end and figure out ways to surprise and or over-deliver at each stage. Once again, looking at packaging. Maybe the packaging can look a bit more nicer or can be way sturdier than they expected, right? Or the unboxing experience, maybe there could be a note from the owner of the business just making the experience of unboxing more pleasurable. Or it can be something with using the product. Maybe we can add something to the packaging. Maybe there is something to help us store or maintain the product, right? Just making the experience better, easier, faster. But the important point is that everything we add actually has to make the original experience better, the original intended experience with the particular product. Do not add useless or cheap stuff like adding a sticker with your brand logo or a keychain with your brand logo or whatever. It really has to improve the original experience with that product. And if you are not sure what to do, how to improve customer experience, what really helped me personally is to list all of the reviews I left in the last 90 days. Analyze my experience as a customer. Why? What made me leave the review? Was it the packaging? Was it the unboxing? Or the product itself was better than I expected? Or if you have not left a review in the last 90 days, choose one product you purchased in the last 90 days and why would you choose that particular product? If you had to leave a single review out of all of the products you bought in the last 90 days, choose one and then figure out why. What was so good about it that it would motivate you to leave a review? And we really have to understand that this is extremely valuable. It's not just about the reviews, because the secondary benefit is word of mouth marketing. Because if the customers like the experience enough to leave a review, they are more likely to share it with their friends as well. And this will really help with your brand awareness. So keep this formula in mind and always try to surprise and over-deliver, because most people are doing the exact opposite. They overpromise with their marketing and they underdeliver with their product. And as always, it all comes down to selling amazing products our customers actually want. And if you want to see a full breakdown of a strategy I use to develop multiple best-selling products on Amazon, make sure to check out this video linked here. See you next week. Bye.